Tell us about some of the successful startups that you've created as an entrepreneur.
Most of them do. And I'll give you an anecdote. There's a business we were involved in, we were invested in, called ThriveHive. It's kind of like HubSpot. I remember when my partner was taking it over, he called me and he said, well, looking to do this deal, the company's in big trouble, we take it over. And I asked him, so is there a market for it? And he said, there's a market for everything. The only question is, should I spend my time on this? Because we'll make anything succeed if I spend time on it, right? Which is very different from portfolio theory of saying, 3 will succeed and 7. You focus on it, you'll bob, weave, dodge, you'll end up at some point, you'll succeed. And the business recently got sold after a year of building it up to that example, right? So my whole point is, the only time you fail in life is for 2 reasons. A, you didn't focus on it. You cut your losses. Or that's what school has taught you. You must cut your losses, portfolio theory. Or 2, there were external factors that were just so seismic that you could not control them. But then that happens, right?
Tell us about a company that you started but failed.
So I'll give you the example of Tricona Capital, which I launched in 2006, right? My concept in 2000, when India was the backwater, no one cared about India. I said, India will grow. What we need is a new asset class, because global institutional investors will want to invest in India. Simple concept. What asset class? I said real estate and infrastructure, they're asset collateralized returns, easiest way. Few minor challenges along the way. Indian regulations didn't allow you to make investments in either of the 2 sectors. Global investors had never invested in India. No one had an underwriting. So we started working with Lehman to figure out an underwriting model for India. We worked with the Indian government to craft a policy, right? They had this thing called the Indian Investment Commission at that time, headed by Ratan Tata. And we raised, in those days, a $500 million fund initially, publicly listed it, and then raised further capital. So we were almost $1 billion, and we did almost 3x on our money. Things were good. We helped create one of the largest road companies in India, one of the largest real estate companies, the largest shipyard in India. I was so fixated on my risk of India that I completely lost track of the risk overseas. Because I always felt that India is where I will succeed or fail, and this is where business is risky, and this is where, that Lehman Brothers happens. Because we are so successful, we have almost 400 million of cash. We were one of the first guys listed in London as a fund. So we listed under mutual fund rules. So we didn't have any control. And hedge funds came in and took it over. And the next few years was litigation. But the lesson there was, never forget your primary risk. I was fixated on the secondary risk because that's where I wanted to succeed. Was the portfolio company in India, where my primary risk was the capital and the source of capital. Because as long as I had capital and source of capital, I could always do what I wanted to do. So it was a success. Yes, did we make some money? Yes. Did we lose a lot of money? Absolutely. But you learned something. And, and I had tremendous fun creating it, because everyone would tell me this could not be done. First time fund manager, first time country, right? No regulatory support. Can't be done. You can't raise $1 billion. Set your goals lower. Maybe raise 50 million.